Good. Welcome to practice. We're going to begin laying down. My favorite. I'm going to lay down with a blanket across your mat and under your shoulder blades. So I make a long, narrow shape in it. Could be a rolled up towel. And if you don't have a blanket, you don't feel like getting up and finding one, you could do this flat, but you get this added help for the joints of your ribs with that little bit of support. And so when you lay yourself on your equipment, just checking in, how does the neck feel? Is the equipment the right height for your body, your neck? You want to feel like the back of your neck is long, not squashed to reach the floor. And the front and back of your neck are even in length. So neither arching forward nor back. Beautiful. And we'll take the arms straight out onto the floor. So you position your body, if you take your arms straight out from your shoulders, they're on the floor, not on the blanket. The blanket's a little below the line of the shoulders. And you can have neutral legs, as in feet hip width and parallel. Or we could do a classic posture like soles of the feet together and knees out wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. And letting yourself relax. Notice in that first attempt to relax if there's still tension. It's as if we know it's there on some level and have become so used to it that we find it difficult to locate. So locating your natural tension. Appreciating it. Noticing if it's okay to let it go. And then finding your breath. The feeling of making time and place for yourself. To be in tune with your body and your breath. To enjoy connecting to what the mind is not usually connected to. And then give yourself a stretch if that feels good. I definitely feel like doing that this morning. And then we're going to carefully bring in the arms and the legs and roll gently off your equipment to the right side. And bring the feeling of where you had that blanket behind your shoulder blade into forward virasana. So kneeling towards the back of your mat and walking your hands forward or sliding them forward. And with each breath, feel the big fill of the lungs, the ribs. And with the exhalation, the ribs reaching closer to the floor. So we're tuning into the flow of breath and let it feel satisfying. So as deep and as long a breath as feels satisfying for you. Nice work. Lift up so you can walk your knees to hip width and back a little bit. And we're going to walk the hands forward and put the elbows on the floor. Bring the chest towards the front of the legs, and this can be quite testing on your shoulders. So try to keep your forearms parallel and pay attention to where any resistance might be in the shoulders. And we'll find that satisfying breath again, and letting the breath really fill those places of resistance in the shoulders, the neck, the upper back. Feeling the breath flow in every little nook and cranny. The exhalation. Such a beautiful vehicle for letting go. Great. And then we're going to come up onto all fours. Take the hands a little bit further forward and then spinal wave your spine forward. And I'm going to follow the flow of the breath and find those subtle and supple movements of the spine and the neck, the tailbone. Stretch your fingers out wide. Press into the fingerprint, the base of the fingers. Beautiful. There's another direction with your wave. See if you can find that opposite movement. Trying to move the whole spine, including the neck, including the tailbone. Nice work. All right, we're going to take the hands up off the floor and step the right foot forward. And bring your hands back onto the floor. On the inside of your foot, you can even wiggle the foot out to the edge of the mat. Good. And we're going to play around with leaning forward and bringing the hip closer to the floor. Good. And we're going to sway a little bit from side to side. If it feels okay, you can bring your hands further forward. Trying to bring the left hip forward. Nice. Some people might be able to bring the elbows down onto the floor here. But you just go as far as feels good. You're keeping your back nice and long, front of the neck long, back of the neck long. Little swaying movement. And feeling the flow of your breath. Great work. Bring yourself back up onto your hands. Lift all the way up. So you can put your right knee back in a kneeling up position and your left foot forward. And we're going to put the hands down on the inside edge of the foot and even wiggle your left foot to the left edge. And we're going to lean forward as much as the body allows. So the hip, the right hip coming as close to the floor as you're comfortable with. I forgot to say on the first side, of course, if it's painful on your knee, to have it on the floor, you can put your blanket under your knee. And we're swaying from side to side, finding the flow. Good. And if it feels like you can go a little bit further, you can try walking your hands further forward. Ooh. And it might even be in your range of movement to bring the elbows to the floor. Don't force that, of course, if it feels foreign to you. Wrong word. Feels strange to you. Beautiful. Back up onto your hand. And bringing yourself into child's pose. And getting comfortable with what feels easeful in your body, but also what might feel challenging. Letting yourself really feel the flow of breath. Beautiful. We're going to bring the arms forward into forward virasana. Feeling the ribs fill and let go of the breath. The shoulders broaden, the armpits lengthen. And then downward facing dog pose. So tuck the toes under. Your feet are about hip width distance apart and your feet are parallel so that your knees look directly forward. And your arms or your hands are about shoulder width. So your arms are parallel. And just have a look at your elbows and notice if you tend to hyperextend, and bend them a tiny bit and imagine you were pressing out your upper arm muscles just above the elbows. And if you use your arms like this in your arm balances, they're going to strengthen more quickly and be stronger. So we're pressing out just a little, the upper arm muscles. Good. And let your head just hang down. Press the fingerprints to the floor. Lift the sit bones, the kneecaps, the quadriceps. And feel that movement of your ribs with the breath. Take the breath to the places in your body that feel resistant. Make space. Keep the weight forward in the hands. Try to keep it out of the heels of the hands. Nice work. Step your right knee forward to your right wrist. And we're going to lower ourselves down onto the floor. So lower the left knee to the floor. And scoot your left leg back for pigeon pose. And you're going to be up on your hands. And we're going to sway from side to side, the hips again. Just getting the body used to gentle movement in this challenging position. Good. Swaying from side to side. So your left foot is in front of your, sorry, wrong foot. Your right foot is in front of your left hip. Good. And we're going to lift up onto fingertips and make a back bend shape. Let your spine lengthen without squashing any part of your spine. Draw the shoulder blades down. Lift the breastbone. We're going to activate that back leg. Press the top of the left foot down. Squeeze the kneecap so it's not pressured onto the floor. And squeeze the left buttock muscle. And breathing. Beautiful. And then we're going to walk our hands, you can put them down flat again, over to the left side so that you can look back at your left foot. Ooh, nice. And that leg is active. You can see your back leg, nice and strong. Lovely. And back to center. And then walk them around to the right side. Ooh. And see if you can look back and find your, goodness, what foot is that? Left foot again. See if you can see it. And then we'll come back to the front. Beautiful. And we're going to tuck the toes under now of the left foot and see if you can step back to downward facing dog pose from here. Ooh, quite the journey. Pressing the heels, lifting the kneecaps, the sit bones, letting your head just hang down. Feeling really in touch with the flow of breath, with the body's ease and difficulty. Good. And we're going to bring the left knee to the left hand. So pigeon pose on the second side. Slide your right leg back until your hips are as close to the floor as you're comfortable with. And we're going to sway the hips inside. Becoming familiar with what is difficult, awkward. Obviously, you don't do this if it hurts your knee. I say obviously, which is the wrong word to use. Sometimes it's not obvious that we're hurting ourselves. So really tune in. And now we're going to press the back foot, the right foot, squeeze the kneecap, and squeeze the right buttock muscle. Great. Lift up onto your fingertip, and we're going to lengthen the spine. Ooh, lengthen. Lifting the chest, drawing the shoulder blades back, feeling proud as beautiful. All right, we're going to flatten the hands and walk the hands around to the right side. So just go as far as you can and see if you can look back and see that strong right leg behind you. Keep the buttock breathing. Ooh, nice work. And then walk your hands back to center and then around to the left side. So walk your hands left and look behind you. Maybe you can see your foot, maybe you can't quite. Ooh. Lovely. And back to center. And then we're going to tuck the toes under of the right foot and step back to downward facing dog pose. And we're going to walk the heels down one at a time. So left and then right. Sort of pedaling or walking motion. Let your head just hang down. So we're letting the shoulders be broad and the armpits long. Excuse me, I have a froggy. Enjoying the breath. Bring yourself into a plank position. And if it feels a little strong, put your knees on the floor. Otherwise, we're a nice straight line from the shoulders, through the tummy, through the knee. Stretch the fingers out wide and really press them. Remember that work in the elbows, so a little bit bent and press the upper arms. Beautiful. And then knees to the floor. And take child's pose. Feeling the flow of your breath. the intention to pay attention to yourself. Nice. We're going to come up to standing, and I'm going to do that from a kneeling position. Tuck my toes under into a squat and stand up. But you might take a few more movements, a different path. We're going to stand and take the arms up. And Tadasana. Ah. And coming to the front of the mat. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Bones of the spine dense and embedding forward. And then we're going to reach both the hands around to the left leg. So maybe they're on the floor, maybe they're on their leg, but keep the right hip reaching back so it doesn't just spin forward. And give yourself a nice big stretch in that direction. Lengthening the right rib. And then back to the center. And walk your upper body around to the right side. So your hands around to the right leg or the right side of your mat. And really give your left side of your body a big. And then come back to the center. Lift your hands up, higher up your legs, maybe up on the thighs, and look forward, but lift your sit bone. Lift the torso, so you're looking forward, the legs are stretching, but the spine is embedded. And then we're going to bend the knees and roll up nice. Beautiful. All right, we're going to be putting our hands on the floor and doing little jumps or steps back and forward. And if you think it would be better for you to put your hands on the seat of a chair, then put all four legs on your mat and use the seat of the chair instead of the floor for your hands. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. So this is where we're going to use our hands. Now, you might need to just take little steps to get your feet back to give you some room to move. And then I'm going to flatten my hands to the floor, knees are bent, and do little bunny hops. Back to downward facing dog pose. We've worked on making more space in this pose in the practice. So letting your legs stretch, but really letting the bones of the spine embed forward. Let your head just hang down. Nice. And how are your arms going? Try to keep the elbows a tiny bit bent. Press out the upper arm muscles. Beautiful. Press your fingerprints. Okay, and then we're going to do tiny steps or jumps forward. And you just go as far as you can before you run out of room. You don't want to topple over. And then we're going to roll all the way up wherever you land on your mat. Nice movement. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Beautiful. Tadasana. You might need to walk to the front of the mat again. Okay. So again, Urdhva Hastasana. And Uttanasana. Bones of the spine embedding forward. Beautiful. Hands to the seat of the chair or the floor. And you need to be able to put them down flat so they're nice and stable. So you might wiggle your feet back to a starting point. Good knees bend. And then little steps or little hops. Downward facing dog pose. They're so invigorating. Beautiful. And then little steps. The more you can do, the more effect. Not toppling forward. When you run out of room, just roll on up. Urdhva Hastasana. And we'll come to the front of the mat. Tadasana. Different now. Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your hands in front of your heart. For a little balance, we're going to press the hands, draw the shoulder blades down. Balance on your right foot and lift your left leg up in front. Left leg out to the side. Left leg out behind you and reach it out straight. You can have your tiptoes on the floor or you can lift the leg higher. You might even be able to tip your torso parallel to the floor, Virabhadrasana 3. Good. Bring the left leg in front. Nice and high. And then we're going to take hold of the knee. Squeeze the knee in as close as you can and then try to hold it there. Good. And then before you put the foot down, find where you're going to place your foot. Hip width parallel to where we're aiming. And then finding your Tadasana. Probably already figured out if you're using the chair, you might need to get that out of the way. Hands in front of the heart. Good. We're balancing on the left foot and we're bringing the right leg up in front. Ooh, nice. Right knee out to the right side. And then right leg behind. Good. Reach the leg out straight. And you tip your torso and lift your leg just as far as your body is able to do. But we hold the hips level to the floor. Virabhadrasana 3. Ooh. Beautiful. Lift up, swing the leg in front, lift the knee high, the right knee high, and then take hold of your right knee and see if you can squeeze the knee in really close to the chest, and then we're going to try and hold it there. And before you place the foot down, find where you're going to place it. And feet under the hip. And all the wobbling, all the catching your balance, part of improving your balance and your reflex. So standing and appreciating 2 feet on the floor now. All right. Similar, but again, a little different. Let's go. Urdhva Hastasana, hands in front of the heart. Left knee lifts in front, left knee out to the side, left knee behind. Straighten your leg out behind you in a Virabhadrasana 3. Modified for you. Good. And then we're going to lift the left hip and start to turn the front of the torso to the left side. Catching yourself whenever you need to, but really trying to stay balanced. Trying to keep your focus on your breathing and on lengthening your spine. It turns into a sort of Ardha Chandrasana. Beautiful. We'll tip the left hip forward again, so hips are level to the floor now. Whoa. And lifting up, left leg in front. Whoa, hug the knee in. I'm losing my balance lots. Try to keep the knee there. And before you place that foot down, finding where the foot's going to go. So there's an intention to your movement. And we learn what is difficult and easeful in this moment. Appreciating both. Urdhva Hastasana. Thumbs up. Palms together in front of your heart. Right leg lifts up in front. Nice and high. Out to the side. Right knee out to the right side. Right leg behind you, straight as you can. So you can keep your tiptoes on the floor, or Virabhadrasana 3 to your needs. And then we're going to try and lift the right hip. Ooh, turning the torso to the right side. Beautiful. And then we're going to tip the hip back to level to the floor and lift up and swing the right leg forward. Oh. Lifting up nice and high, even squeezing the knee into the chest and trying to hold it. And then before you place it back down, having an intention about where it's going to land. Nice work. All right. We're going to do Garudasana arms and a forward bend. Feet under the hips. Take your arms out to your from your shoulders. Left upper arm over your right upper arm. And first of all, cradle your shoulders. Shoulder blades down, back of the neck long. And you might be able to get your elbows further across each other. You can keep your hands there, or you can reach for your palm or your thumb. Shoulders down, hands lifting, back of the neck long. Breathing out. And then forward bend. We want to keep that feeling of the bones of the spine dense, embedding forward. And we'll let the legs stretch. We keep the back of the neck long. So you might be able to just relax your neck and your head. And let the weight of your arms and your neck and your shoulders really lengthen the spine here. Taking some deep breaths. Legs as straight as feels good for you. You might like that alternating feeling or just holding them. And let's do a little sway. The whole trunk of the body. Swaying side to side. Neck stays really relaxed. And we're tuned into the flow of breath. And the ease and the tension of the body. And back to center, head really relaxed. And then bend your knees and rolling up. And then release your arms. I love that one. Bring the arms out. And then we'll bring the right upper arm over the left. And if you hold your shoulders to begin with, then you might find you can cross your elbows further. And you can keep your hands like this, or you can try to reach for your thumb or your palm. But we'll keep those shoulder blades down so the back of the neck is long. Good, and looking up. Embedding the bones of the spine forward. Forward bend. And letting your legs stretch. And then start to really relax into the posture so that your neck feels really good. Breathing deeply. And allowing that leg stretch. We want to really let that happen so that the spine doesn't have to be taut. And then we're going to sway a little from side to side. See if in your swaying you can keep your neck very relaxed. And stay connected to the flow of your breath. Accepting in your body both the ease and the tension. Tuned into the breath. Mm. Mm. Back to center. And then we're going to bend the knees and lifting up. And when you lift up, letting go of your arms. Ooh. Nice work. We're going to step one foot out so we're wide-legged, facing the edge, the long edge of the mat. Toes in. Find your hip crease where you stop being leg and you start being torso, or vice versa. Just put your fingers to locate that. And we want to make a back bend. You might feel that hip crease lifting. And of course, it lengthens and tenses from the stretch. But as we bring the torso forward now, bones of the spine embedding forward, feel the hip crease start to relax. And really let it relax. And really let it fold deeply. So that you can fold as far forward as your body will allow. And bring your hands onto the floor underneath your shoulders. Nice work. So you feel the bones of your spine embedding forward. And we're going to walk the hands out in front as far as you can. So your arms are parallel. And lift the inner arches of your feet. So try to press a little more on the outside edges of the feet. Lift the inner ankle bones, the kneecaps. Lift the sit bones and feel the spine flow. Ah. Beautiful. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. And we're going to sit down, so you might think of a different way to do this. But I'm going to jump my feet together into a squat. Limber up my feet and attempt my sitting without using my hands and without falling over too much. All right, beautiful. We're going to lay down. Ah. Let's bring the left heel onto the right knee. So, sorry, we'll go back. We've started with feet hip width parallel, legs up, arm bent. Left heel on the right knee. And let's bring the legs in towards the chest. If you try to pick up your right foot and it's too strong for you, just do this with your right foot staying on the floor. You can just let your legs relax into the stretch there. Otherwise, we're hugging the right leg as close as you can to your right shoulder and your left knee away from your left shoulder. We're going to lift the lower back a little away from the floor. Great. Now keep the legs like that and reach your left arm overhead by your left ear. Great. And then we're going to just bend the elbow, lift your head a little so you're laying back on that bent arm. And we're just going to imagine for a second that you could hold your left toes with your left hand. Feeling the flow of breath. Beautiful. All right, release your arms out to the side and we'll do a twist from here. So put your right foot back down on the floor and let your legs, just as they are, over to the right side. And looking back over your left shoulder. lifting back up. Beautiful. All right, we're going to unravel legs. So we start hip width parallel, legs bent. Right knee on the, I said the wrong thing. Right foot on the left knee. Easy to do. Okay, you can either leave, if that's a big enough stretch, just stay there, or bring your legs closer to you and hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder and your right knee away from your right shoulder. And we're going to add to this. So we're lifting the lower back a little away from the floor. Relaxing across your shoulders and your throat, your chest. Finding a breath. Beautiful. Let's take the right arm by the right ear. Ooh, and we're going to pick up the head and just fold your right arm behind you and lay back onto your arm. And imagine just for a moment that you could touch your right toes with your right fingers. In a very relaxed way. Beautiful. All right. We're going to put the left foot back on the floor, arms out from the shoulders. Legs are going to go to the floor on the left, and you're looking fine. And letting. Using your core strength and awareness, bring your legs back. Hug your knees. Beautiful. And if you need to finish your practice, as I do, we're going to roll over to the right side and come up to sitting. Bring your hands in front of your heart. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste. Thank you.